Hey guys, what's up? All right, welcome back. Today, you guys wanted to hear about what is nature's Ozempic. And this is a big topic. So, obviously, I think unless you have been hiding under a rock somewhere, it's a big thing right now, right? It's really popular. A lot of people going on them. That's just one name brand, obviously, but it's basically a GLP-1 drug medication. So, here is the thing. How do I even begin? I do not recommend them for 99.9% of people. Let's start with that. So, first and foremost, we want a long term solution. And the reason that these GLP-1s have become popular is for several reasons. You'll often hear women say they got rid of food noise, meaning they're not thinking about food all day. They helped them not eat as much because of appetite regulation. You know, the appetite starts signaling when you're full and had enough to eat. And here's what GLP-1 is. It's naturally occurring in the body, number one. And as we go into perimenopause and menopause, our body can not produce as much of it. So people are taking it externally. And what it does is it helps with appetite regulation, it helps with blood sugar, and it helps to slow your stomach emptying, like slow digestion. Here is the problem, and I have already seen it more times than enough. Now, on top of that, it comes with side effects for a lot of people, really negative side effects. But I now have a whole new group of women coming to me who have done GLP-1s, and you know, it's expensive and a lot of them couldn't sustain that, but they lost the weight, and so now they come off it and they think, okay, I'm at my ideal weight. But then the problem is the weight comes right back on and then some. And one of the reasons is because when you take them, you lose not only body fat, but you're losing muscle. And even if you didn't work out, the more muscle we have, and we can maintain it through diet, by the way, but muscle is metabolically active tissue. So the more muscle you have on your body naturally, the more energy, the more calories, the stronger your metabolism, the more that you're going to burn even at rest. So we want to protect the muscle we have as much as possible. Now, GLP-1s get rid of fat and muscle. So now when you come off of them, you have less muscle, your metabolism is now even slower. And so you get it back, gain it back, and then some, typically. So one of the reasons is because you're taking something externally instead of supporting the internal system. So what is a much smarter move is to support the internal system that does the same thing. And the reason a lot of women are not doing that is because they simply don't know that you can, or they don't know how. And it's not as complicated as you may think. So the things we want to support. So first, GLP-1 is made in the gut. The gut speaks to the brain. And it signals satiety when you've had enough to eat, like it works with your hunger hormones. And it also helps with slowing stomach emptying, and it also helps with blood sugar control, so cravings. Here's the thing. Women, we typically will want to, when we want to lose weight, we go to the old ways of doing things, which is generally just eating less, eat less, burn more. Like it's a calorie deficit, and it's just calories in, calories out. And you may have noticed it doesn't really work as well when you are going into the hormonal changes of perimenopause. And one of the other reasons is because if you're not eating enough, you're not eating enough to support GLP-1 signaling. So that is why you could be really restricting calories and you're freaking frustrated because you don't understand why you're still gaining weight or you can't really lose weight. It's because these signaling processes, pathways, are not working properly when you're not eating enough for them. So what are the things that it does? As we discussed, it slows your stomach emptying. That's why you feel fuller for longer. It helps with your blood sugar insulin response, which means that your food is being more efficiently used and burned off. And it also means that's going to help with energy levels. It's going to help with hunger, cravings. And it's also helping to signal your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, like when you've had enough to eat, because for a lot of women, these aren't signaling properly. And that's why people are having initial success with them, because they're like, oh, wow, I'm not thinking about food all day. Oh, wow, I'm not overeating because I know when I've had enough, it's because of this GLP-1 is signaling temporarily. Now, you come off of it if you've been one of the fortunate ones not to have any side effects and you haven't supported the system. So you're going to start having the same problems come back on. And like I said, less muscle, so even more so. Metabolism's been lowered. So it's a bit of a bigger problem. Instead, what we want to do is we want to support that GLP-1 production internally. We want to support the system with a root cause approach. That way, it's going to be lasting. You're not coming on and coming off of food. You got to eat food, right? So this way it's going to be lasting for you. So how do we do that? So first, it's produced in the gut. So one of the strongest stimulators of GLP-1 is, of course, protein. So you want to make sure you're having enough protein, but you don't want to just have a high protein diet on its own. You also want to make sure you're having enough fiber, because fiber in the gut is going to feed and support the GLP-1 production as well. So you also want to have that fiber. Then you want to have healthy fats. Healthy fats are going to keep your stomach feeling full longer, so they're going to slow down that stomach emptying. The same thing, right? But it's with food. And I think one of the things, I don't know, I just feel really bad because I know everybody thinks it's not that nothing's working when you do it naturally, it's just that you're doing the wrong things. And you're doing the things that we've been told for years, like get rid of carbs. Okay, well, guess what? Carbs, the right carbs have fiber. We need the fiber to fuel this and signal properly. People are like, have less calories. Well, if you have too few calories, it's not supporting the signaling properly. So all you're doing is creating a hunger problem. And it's not getting rid of the body fat. And so I know that's a reason a lot of women are very frustrated, because especially if you're not trying, that's one thing. But if you're listening to this right now, then I think, safely assume that you're trying. And you feel frustrated because nothing's working. Low carb isn't working anymore. Low calories not working anymore. My body must be broken. Nothing must work. Nothing could be further from the truth. You just need a different approach, which is a better approach, which is fueling, amongst other things, but we're talking about GLP-1s and Ozempic today. But you want to fuel the signaling properly. So at this stage of the game, it's not about how many calories you're eating. What it's about is, what is the signal that this food is producing within my body? So we want to just be eating foods that are going to give our body the proper signals. There is a good possibility that that means you should or could be eating more than you are now. And there is a very strong possibility that when you do it properly, you will keep the weight off once you lose it. And there is another strong possibility that it's going to cost you a heck of a lot less money than paying for these GLP-1s every month, because it's creating a whole other problem. And, I see online all the different side effects, and there's a new side effect. Like, it's not worth it. If something sounds too good to be true, it generally is. Now, I think there is 1% of the population, perhaps these could help, but I think way too many people are taking them that shouldn't be and that don't need to be, when you can support your body properly. Like, just do it once, get it done, and then you don't have to be worrying about the same thing next year or looking for the new whatever. Like, it just really comes down to having an understanding of which foods have which reactions in your body. And like I said, so protein is the number one stimulator of GLP-1, but you also got to have the fiber, because that is going to feed the gut bacteria that is also going to support it. And then you want to have the right proportion of healthy fats, which are going to also support your hormones, but they're going to slow down that stomach emptying for you as well. So these are all the things that people are getting when they take these medications, but you're supporting it naturally. If you were to take the medication and then go off it, these systems haven't been supported at the root level. So now you're back to dealing with the same problem, right? So why not just deal with it at the root level this time? And then you don't have to worry about fixing it again next year or the year after or the year after, right? Anyway, I hope that helps you guys. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, when you can wrap your mind around, chronic calorie restriction can really blunt the growth and promotion of GLP-1 production. So eating less, like under eating, obviously if you're eating 4,000 calories a day, you're going to need to eat less to lose weight. I mean, there's limits within everything I'm saying, right? But you don't need to be eating 1,200 calories a day, 1,000, like lowering it to 1,000 calories a day. Intermittent fasting, don't do that, that's bad. Low carb, you need carbs, they have the fiber. So when you have an understanding of how to deal with this from the root cause level, and it comes down to eating properly, so these hormones such as GLP-1 signal properly, it's all a signaling issue. It's not a calorie issue, it's a signaling issue. When you understand this, it makes your life a whole heck of a lot easier. And you will lose the weight and you will maintain it. And not only that, you're going to feel a lot better. And you're not going to be stuck in that trap of, you know, having to lose the same weight over and over. You'll lose it once because you did it the right way, by supporting your internal system. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Any questions, of course, please let me know. Drop your comments below. And if you want, I put together a free guide for, you know, why traditional diets don't work for women over 40 and 45. If you want to grab it, comment below guide. I will send it to you, or you can send me a private DM. I also right now have it linked at the first link in my bio, but I'm going to be changing that with something new I'm working on for you guys. So if you want that at the first link in my bio, the free guide, I would recommend grab it now, because that's going to be coming down in the next couple of days to a week. Anyway, leave your questions below. I hope you found that helpful. Let me know if you did. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.